Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Ram Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare
इधर क्लास स्टार्ट करेंगे। क्लास है, क्लास 2D। हरे कृष्णा। संयुक्त माता जी, स्वप्ना माता जी, सुनील प्रभु, सपन प्रभु, राधिका माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining today. So let us begin with Mangalacharana, quick Mangalacharana prayer, and then start reading Raja Vidya, the King of Knowledge. Thank you very much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. मज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। ॐ पवित्र पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं साभ्याभ्यन्तरं शुचिः। श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु। Yeah, I'm just sharing screen. We are reading from Raja Vidya, the king of knowledge. Raja Vidya. Krishna himself says that word. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram, Idamuttamam, Pratyaksha Dharmyam, Susukam Kartum Avyayam. The first time Krishna spoke in this Bhagavad Gita many millions of years ago to sun god named Vasva. Raja Vidya, king of knowledge, and Raja Guhyam, most confidential knowledge. You are able to read, right? You are able to hear me, right? Clearly, Haribol?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, thank you. So, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram, very pure. Pavitram, Idamuttamam, the best. These are the words directly from lotus mouth of Krishna. Raja Vidyam, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram, Idamuttamam. Pratyakshyavagamam dharmyam. This is the topmost knowledge and one has to learn. What happens one has to learn? How can we it executed? How it can be executed? Pratyakshyavagamam dharmyam susukam kartumavyayam. This gives happiness, sukam, pleasure, nice. And this susukam kartumavyam, and very nicely executable process. Very nicely executable process. With the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have wonderful process A, B, C, D, E. Association, books, chanting, A, B, C, D for diet, D for deity worship also. Diet, Prashadam, A, B, C, D, E, and E, engaging in all of these four activities. By associating with devotees, by reading Srila Prabhupada books, and chanting, right? And then deity worship, take prashadam, sarva prashadam, cleaning utensils, comes under seva. And then A, B, C, D, E, engaging our senses for the pleasure of Krishna. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevana, Bhakti Ruchyate. This is the simple process actually. If we take it as simple, if we take it as hard like that. If it is taken, that's where Prabhupada writes this one. Simple living and high thinking. Simple living, whatever bodily demands, whatever necessities we need, we have to fulfill. That's it. Not over endeavor or over indulgent. No. Okay, so that's where. And simple living and high thinking. High thinking for what? High thinking with the help of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavan, with this knowledge. We have to think that we have to think and work on it. Like we are gona for eternal life. We wanted to leave these sufferings, and we wanted to engage eternally in the service of Krishna. In order to eternally engage service of Krishna, first we have to practice here. No? How can we go back to the earth? How can we render services fully, eternally, 24 hours a day, as per the material calculations? But how can we go? Because unless we prepare our consciousness here, we cannot go. That's why Prabhupada writes, always remember Krishna, never forgets. Always remember Krishna, wherever we are in, whether we workplace, at home, or at temple, in different places, always our mind needs to be thinking lotus feet of Krishna, holy name of Krishna, it's pastimes, it's memory. It has to be run in our mind always. That's the thing. So this book reading helps us to nourish our brain cells. So how this thinking feeling works? Mind, right? Mind's functions: thinking, feeling, and willing. How I'm gonna think, what I'm gonna experience or feel. Thinking, feeling, and willing. What I'm wanting, right? So these three functions of the mind: thinking, feeling, and willing. If we keep our mind, Krishna's thoughts in all these things: thinking, feeling, willing. That's it. That's what Krishna consciousness. Okay, let us begin with this chapter. Right. So, with the Mataris. Samyukta Mataji, please start.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Chapter 6. Knowledge of Krishna's appearances and activities. There are two forces of nature working in us. By one, we decide that in this lifetime, we will make spiritual advancement. But at the next moment, the other force, Maya or illusory energy, says, "What is all this trouble that you are going to? Just enjoy this life and be easy with yourself." This tendency to fall into forgetfulness is the difference between God and man. Arjuna is a companion and associate of Krishna's, and whenever Krishna appears on any planet, Arjuna also takes birth and appears with him. When Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to the sun god, Arjuna was also present with him. But being a finite living entity, Arjuna could not remember. Forgetfulness is the nature of the living entity. We cannot even remember what we were doing at this exact time, yesterday or a week ago. If we cannot remember this, how is it possible to remember what happened in our previous lives? At this point, we may ask how it is that Krishna can remember and we cannot. And the answer is that Krishna does not change his body. Ajopi san avyatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim svam adhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Bhagavad Gita 4.6. Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, continue this version.
Yes, Prabhuji. The word Atma Mayaya means that Krishna descends as he is. He does not change his body, but we, as conditioned souls, change ours, and because of this, we forget. Krishna knows not only the past, present, and future of his activities, but the past, present, and future of everyone's activities. Vedaham samatitani vartamani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Bhagavad Gita 7.26.
Thank you so
Hare
much for
Krishna.
that. So,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
this is a very, very beautiful point, why we are getting forgetfulness. Because our body is changing life after life, you know. What is the difference between us and Krishna? How can Krishna remember us? Because he doesn't change any body, because his body always in transcendental. Sachidananda Vigraha. Even though he looks like human being, but his body is eternal. It's not under the modes of material nature. As long as we are body, we are having body, we are in the modes of material nature. Forgetfulness. That's the thing. He does not change his body, but we as conditioned soul change ours. Because of this, we forget. So it's a very, very crucial point, actually. We have to, Prabhupada writes this statement in his purpose. We have to spiritualize our life, our body. Savai mana Krishna padara vindo. Just like Ambarisha Maharaj says in the Bhagavatam. We see in the Bhagavatam that verse. Savai mana Krishna padara vindo. So what basically in our head only mean, in this head part, everything is there. 2 eyes, nose, tongue, ears, the main mind. If we use Krishna's service, our body becomes spiritualized. There is no need to change our body actually. Krishna is going to, so because until unless become complete 100% Krishna consciousness, we cannot go back to the, we cannot get the eternal body. So that's the thing. So we have to desire for Krishna's service. We have to desire for chant more. All the Krishna conscious activities, we have to increase like that. So that our life becomes successful, spiritualized. We don't need to change any more body. Right? What is the spiritual world and material world? Material world these are the bodies. 8,400,000 species. Nothing but dresses. Whereas spiritual world, there is no need. In the 8,400,000 species not there. There are innumerable living entities. That means innumerable pure devotees of Supreme Lord serving Krishna eternally. And they are all eternal beings. No question of material body. We get the spiritual body. That spiritual body's nature is this one. Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. Sat means always, Chit means knowledge, Ananda means blissful. That's it. So in order to get that body, we have to work, because as long as we are in the material world, that's why use it for Krishna service. Whatever is body, what to be accumulations, whatever, everything. That's the thing. So Prabhupada pointed this particular verse from Bhagavad Gita. See, 7.26. Vedaham samatityaitani vartamani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda na kaschana. Oh Arjuna, as a Supreme Personality, I know everything that has happened in the past, that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. Sarvagya. It's got one devotee name is Sarvagya Govind Prabhu in Dallas, Texas. Sarvagya Govind Prabhu. So Sarvagya Govind, who is Sarvagya Govind? He knows present, he knows past. He is gone up he always knows about everything. That means in future also. I also all living entities. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. How can we understand? But me, no one knows. Because of the material bodies we got, we don't know Krishna. Who is our eternal Father? Who is our eternal? What is the essential? What is the necessary things? We don't know unless we come to the platform of spirituality. So let us continue. Swapna Mataji, can you please read from this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Please.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, we also find that Supreme Lord is defined as who knows everything. This is not the case with even the most elevated living entities, such as Brahma and Shiva. Only Vishnu or Krishna knows everything. We may also ask that if the Lord does not change his body, why does he come as an incarnation? There is much difference among philosophers concerning this question. Some say that Krishna assumes a material body when he comes, but this is not the case. If he assumed a material body like ours, he could not remember. For, for forgetfulness is due to the material body. The actual conclusion is that he doesn't change his body. God is called all powerful. And in the verse quoted above, his omnipotence is explained. Krishna has no birth and he is eternal. Similarly, the living entity has no birth and he is also eternal. It is only the body with which the living entity identifies that takes birth. In the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter, Krishna explains that we accept as birth and death is due to the body. And as soon as we regain a spiritual body and get out of the contamination of birth and death, we should, that is the whole process of Krishna consciousness, the revival of our original Satchitananda spiritual body. That body is eternal, Sat, full of knowledge and blissful Ananda. This material body is neither Sat, Chit nor Ananda. It is perishable, whereas the person who is occupying the body, can you please scroll it up?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, whereas the person,
Yeah, read Mataji.
yeah, imperishable, it is also full of ignorance. And because it is ignorant and temporary, it is full of misery. We feel severe hot or severe cold due to the material body. But as soon as we revive our spiritual body, we become unaffected by dualities. Even while within the material bodies, there are yogis who are impervious to duality, such as heat, cold. As we begin to make spiritual advancement, while in the material body, we begin to take on the qualities of spiritual body. If we put on into the fire, it becomes hot. And when it becomes red hot, and finally it is no longer iron, but fire, whatever it touches, bursts into flames. As we become advanced in Krishna consciousness, our material body will become spiritualized and will no longer be affected by the material contamination. Krishna's birth, his, his appearance and disappearance are likened unto the appearance and disappearance of sun. In the morning, it appears as if the sun is born from the eastern horizon, but actually it is not. The sun is neither rising nor setting. It is as it is in its position. All risings and settings are due to the rotation of the earth. Similarly, in Vedic literatures, they are prescribed schedules for the appearance and disappearance of Sri Krishna. Krishna's rising is just like the sun. The sun's rising and setting are going on that every moment. Same sunrise and sunset. It is not that at one point Krishna is born and at another point he is gone. He is always there somewhere, but he appears to come and go. Krishna appears and disappears in many universes. We only have experience of this one universe. But from Vedic literature, we can understand that this universe is is but a part of infinite manifestations of the Supreme Lord. Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
Continue, Mother. Yes, continue.
Although Krishna is Supreme Lord and is unborn and unchangeable, he appears in his original transcendental nature. The word Prakriti means nature. In the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that there are many kinds of nature. They have been categorized into 3 basic types. There are external nature, internal nature, and marginal nature. The external nature is the manifestation of this material world. In the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this is described as apara or material nature. When Krishna appears, he accepts the higher nature, Prakritim Swam, not the inferior material nature. Sometimes the head of a state may go to the prison house in order to inspect the prison and see the inmates there. But the prisoners are in error if they think the head of the state has come to prison. So, he is a prisoner just like us. As pointed out before, Sri Krishna states that fools deride him when he descends in human form. Bhagavad Gita 9.
Okay, Mother. Thank you, Mother. Right. Thank you very much. So, Prabhupada has given one beautiful example. See here. If we put iron into a fire, it becomes hard and then it becomes red hot. Finally, it is no longer iron, right? But fire, whatever it touches, bursts into flames. So, this is a very beautiful example actually. As long as, if you take an example like this, no, and think ourselves, our body, if we utilize in Krishna's service, as we become advanced in Krishna consciousness, our material body will become spiritualized and will no longer be affected by material contamination. Material contamination means again taking birth, changing body from one body to another, but there is a thing, material contamination. Krishna's birth and his appearance, just even sun rising, sun setting, but sun is not. It is his position that it reflects like that. Right, morning here, morning, in India, night. But sun is never changes its position. What is changing position? The earth is moving. We are changing. That's where example it talks about. Likewise, Krishna is always there somewhere. Krishna is eternally performing his part. That's why it's called, Nitya Lila. Nitya Lila Pravishta. Always something, some pastimes is enjoying with his devotees, something eternally. Nitya Lila. So that's the thing. And this one, one point I want to see here. His omnipotence explained. Krishna is no birth and he is eternal. Similarly, the living entity has no birth and he is also eternal. It is only the body which the living identities that takes birth. That whatever desires, according to desires, material nature arranges in one of the 8,400,000 species. Different dresses, different desires. Okay, so because we wanted to enjoy, it is the body, it is the only the body with which the living entity identifies and takes birth. Identification means I wanted to enjoy like Krishna, I wanted to enjoy this one. I wanted to enjoy, for example, somebody wants to have meat eating every day, for example, just an example. Of course, people are there likewise. Without meat, they won't eat every day, single day. In every meal, they need. So next life, what happens? Tiger or whatever meat eating bodies is going to take place. Similarly, if we work for Krishna, we get the spiritual body. There is no question of material body, no suffering. That's what the thing is. And we have that Satchitananda Vigraha body. The body is eternal. The body is full of knowledge. The body is blissful, Ananda. In this material body, are we experiencing any Ananda? No, never. It looks like happiness, but it's a flickering happiness. Only spiritual body gets eternal happiness. That means the more we associate with Krishna, the more we get the taste, the more we get the happiness, eternal happiness. Actually, we can experience in this life also. That is a possibility that all these great Vaishnava acharyas, these pure devotees, they shown their example, how they practice Krishna consciousness, practiced Krishna consciousness. So, Krishna himself said, when I descend as a human form, fools deride me. I am just a normal man. But see, 99% of the people, when he appeared on this planet, Krishna nobody recognized Krishna as Supreme Personality. Right? Only very less, few devotees understood, oh, Krishna. That's why we never know. I mean, unless we properly situated, we don't know actually. That's why he appeared in that time frame, Dwaraka, Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, but very, very, very less people understood that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And whoever understands, they become devotees. That's it. Their life is successful. Going back to that. Let us continue from this paragraph. Okay, yeah. Radhika Mataji, can you please read? Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, please.
Krishna as the Supreme Lord can come here at any time and we cannot object and say that he cannot come. He is fully independent and he can come and disappear as he likes. If the head of a state goes to visit a prison, we are not to assume that he is forced to do so. Krishna comes with a purpose and that is to reclaim fallen conditioned souls. We do not love Krishna but Krishna loves us. He claims everyone as his son. सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तय सम्भवन्ति या तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिरहं बीजप्रदः पिता. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Bhagavad Gita 14.4. The father is always affectionate to the son. The son may forget the father, but the father can never forget the son. Krishna comes to the material universe out of his love for us to deliver us from the miseries of birth and death. He says, my dear sons, why are you rotting in this miserable world? Come to me and I'll give you all protection. We are sons of the Supreme, and we can enjoy life very supremely without any misery and without any doubt. Therefore, we should not think that Krishna comes here just as we do. Being obliged by the laws of nature, the Sanskrit word avatar literally means he who descends. One who descends from the spiritual universe into the material universe through his own will is called an avatar. Sometimes Sri Krishna descends himself and sometimes he sends his representative. The major religions of the world, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, and Muslim, believe in some supreme authority or personality coming down from the kingdom of God. In the Christian religion, Jesus Christ claimed to be the Son of God and to be coming from the kingdom of God to reclaim conditioned souls. As followers of Bhagavad Gita, we admit this claim to be true. So basically, there is no difference of opinion. In details, there may be differences due to differences in culture, climate, and people, but the basic principle remains the same. That is, God or his representatives come to reclaim conditioned souls. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyuntanam abhyutthanamadharmasya tadatmanam shrijam aham.
Yeah.
Actually, Prabhuji, we read till 65 in the last class.
That's what I'm thinking again. Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Repeated reading is needed. That's okay. Yes.
Yeah.
But let us continue. Where we left, Prabhu?
Page 65, Prabhuji, second paragraph we left that day.
But Prabhuji, this is like valuable knowledge, right? So we can still continue.
Yeah. The more we, the better, of course. But actually, let me see. Did I confuse or what happened? I just see. What is this here? On Friday, and this chapter only. No? And red means, I mean, maybe I am guessing while reading, I'm guessing that maybe another book, another book. I'm not sure. We read last Wednesday.
Prabhuji, I'm reading from my own book, so I marked it. It was still 65. We had to
65.
start from,
Okay, what is there?
yeah,
Acha,
we had to
what is it?
start from, we had to start from the second paragraph.
Actually, my mind is not is there. So that's the thing. I got it. This one. Here, here Krishna says that he comes. Thank you, Mataji. This one, but anyway, no problem. Let me put again. I just copy pasted. Yeah, we read on Wednesday only till some paragraphs. So now let us continue. It is finding here. Yeah, from here we can continue. I think yes, good, but it's okay. Anyway, Krishna appears to reclaim fallen conditioned souls, to help devotees to punish non-devotees and miscreants. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata abhyudhana dharmasya tadatmana sujamyaham. Then paritranaya sadhunam. In every millennium he comes to establish the principles of religion. And paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya vishkudam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So now this one, let us start from here. Haribol. Yes, Radhika Mata, you can say that. That's where, Samyukta Mata, మీరు ఏం గుర్తు చేయలేదు మాతాజీ.
Prabhuji, నేను Wednesday absent, Prabhuji.
Oh, మీరు లేరా? That's true. Otherwise,
Yes,
you would tell me. Actually,
yeah,
where is my
Prabhuji.
mind? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I just shared in the group only. From here, this chapter, here Krishna says, let us continue from this chapter, and I don't know, but no problem. Got it.
Yeah.
Now to
Prabhuji,
check.
initially I thought you were actually testing us to see if we identify or not.
You are testing it. Yes, bro. No problem. Hey, repeatedly reading means that is also okay, Prabhu. ఒకసారి చదివితే ఇవన్నీ రావు ప్రభు మనకు. We have to repeatedly read. But anyway, let us continue from this paragraph. We already read. We gone through these different verses. But anyway, we read. No problem. Krishna likes it actually. The more we read, the more repeatedly read and understand. Very good. Yeah, you can chadavandi Mataji, Radhika Mataji, couple of paragraphs.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Here Krishna says that he comes when there is a decline in dharma. The Sanskrit word dharma has been translated into English as faith, but faith has come to mean a religious system that goes under the name of Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, etc. But the word dharma does not have the same meaning as faith. The faith of an individual may change from Hindu to Buddhist to Christian to Muslim, etc. People have the ability to accept one faith and reject another, but dharma cannot be changed. It is the nature of every individual to render service either to himself, his family, his community, nation, or to humanity at large. This rendering of service cannot in any way be divorced from the living entity, and it is this that constitutes the dharma of every living being. Without rendering service, one cannot exist. The world goes on because we are all rendering and exchanging service. We must forget whether we are Christian, Muslim, or Hindu, and we must understand that we are living entities whose constitutional position is to render service to the supreme living entity. When we reach that stage of understanding, we are liberated.
Yeah, continue, Mataji. Continue.
Liberation is freedom from temporary designations which we have acquired from association with material nature. Liberation is nothing more than this. Because we have material bodies, we take so many designations. Thus, we call ourselves a man, a parent, an American, a Christian, Hindu, etc. These designations should be abandoned if we at all want to become free. Under no circumstances we are master. We are at the present serving, but we are serving with designations. We are the servants of a wife, of a family, of a job, of our own senses, of our children. And if we have no children, we become servants of our cats or dogs. In any case, we must have someone, something to serve. If we have no wife or child, we have to catch some dog or other lower animal in order to serve it. That is our nature. We are compelled to do it. When we at last become free from these designations and begin to render transcendental loving service to the Lord, we attain our perfectional stage. We then become established in our true dharma. Thus Sri Krishna says that he appears whenever there is a discrepancy in the dharma of the living entities. That is to say, whenever the living entities cease rendering service to the Supreme. In other words, when the living entity is too busily engaged serving his senses and there is an overindulgence in sense gratification, the Lord comes. In India, for instance, when people were overindulging in animal slaughter, Lord Buddha came to establish ahimsa, non-violence to all living entities. Similarly, in the above quoted verse, Sri Krishna says that he comes in order to protect the sadhus. Paritranaya sadhunam. Sadhus are typified by their toleration of all other living entities. Despite all inconveniences and dangers, they try to give real knowledge to the people in general. A sadhu is not the friend of a particular society, community, or country, but is a friend of all, not only of human beings, but of animals and lower forms of life. In short, the sadhu is an enemy of no one and a friend to all. Consequently, he is always peaceful. Such persons who have sacrificed everything for the Lord are very, very dear to the Lord. Although the sadhus do not mind if they are insulted, Krishna does not tolerate any insult to them. As stated in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is alike to all, but he is especially inclined to his devotees. Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshosti na priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapi aham. I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Bhagavad Gita 9.29.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji, for reading. Yes. So, few things. From the last paragraph. This is from directly from Krishna only. That's where devotees are special favor. He likes devotees. Simple to understand. He likes devotees. He doesn't like materials. Doesn't like in that sense. He doesn't involve in their free will. We are using our free will to serve Supreme Lord. That's where he likes us. Actually, he likes everything in his creation because everything comes from him. He likes. But this is special favor. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. Sarvabhuteshu. All the living entities. Moving, non-moving, everything. Yeah, the equal vision. Name dvesho na priyaha. I envy no one, nor am I partial to him. I'm equal to all. Name dveshosti na priya. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Whoever renders services to me, maite cheshu chatyam. Whoever renders service unto me in devotion, he is a friend, he is in me, and I am also a friend to him. That's the thing. Two kinds of moods we have to develop, right? Friendly mood, devotional mood. That's it. Krishna is with us. Krishna is with us, yes. And liberation, what is the meaning of liberation? Liberation is freedom from temporary designation, which we have acquired from association with material nature. Different bodies, right? I am American, I am African. Many times we have discussed. It's a frequent conversation. I am not this body, I am spirit soul. That is the thing. But we are always identifying with our body, with the designation, with positions. I am man, woman, I'm a software engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm a civil engineer, I'm a lawyer, I'm American, I'm African. That's the thing. So that is completely on the material platform only, right? So when a person dies, what happens? These designations, nothing, no. When a person dies, what happens to these designations? Gone. But our position as a devotees, as practitioners of the devotion life, what is our position? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. Jivera Swarupavai, Krishna and Tidas. That's it. We are always eternal servant of Krishna. How can he say? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is a supreme personality of Godhead in the form of devotee, in the mood of Srimati Radharani. He wanted Krishna experiences the highest bliss that Radharani experiencing. So he wanted to come as a Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience that love. That's the thing. So, so that what is our designation? Servant of Krishna. Easy to understand from Bhagavad Gita itself. Krishna established his position. Krishna, what is Krishna's expectation? Manmana bhava madbhaktu. To whom? The supreme controller, supreme enjoyer, supreme proprietor, supreme master. Aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam pravartate. That one. And matta parataram nanyat kinchidasya dhananjaya. I always quote these verses because it has to save in my mind eternally. That's what I frequently quote those two verses. Very, very important verses from Bhagavad Gita. That's why when we surrender to Krishna, all the sins is going to take away. So what is the best solution? Krishna only giving that best solution, right? Manmanabhav, Madbhakta, Madhyaji, Mam Namaskuru. Always chant my glories. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. I am going to protect you. Sarvadharman Parityajam Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Aham Tvam Sarvapapibhyo Mokshishyanam Asya. That's where it is. Let us continue. Krishna is special favor. We have to understand that, Krishna special favor for his devotees. Let us continue. Sunil Prabhu or Sapan Prabhu, whoever ready. Sunil Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu.
And then Pranam Prabhuji. Please read Prabhuji.
Although Krishna is neutral to all, for one who is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness, who is spreading the message of Bhagavad Gita, he gives special protection. It is Sri Krishna's promise that his devotee shall never perish. Anteya prati janati name bhaktya pranastiti. 9.31. Not only does Krishna come to protect and save his devotees, but also to destroy the wicked. Vinashchaya duskritam. Krishna wanted to establish Arjuna and the 5 Pandavas, who were the most pious Kshatriyas and devotees, as rulers of the world. And he also wanted to vanquish the atheistic party of Duryodhana. And as mentioned before, a third reason for his coming is to establish real religion, dharma samsthaparnathaya. Thus, Sri Krishna's purpose for coming is threefold. He protects his devotees, vanquish the demonic, and establish the real religion of the living entity. He comes not only once, but many, many times. Sambhavami yuge yuge. But because this material world is such that in the course of time, after an adjustment is made, it will again deteriorate. The world is so conceived that even if we make a very good arrangement, it will gradually deteriorate. After World War I, an armistice was signed, and there was a short period of peace. But World War II soon began, and now that is over, they are making preparation for World War III. This is the function of time, kal, in the material world. We build up a very nice house, and after 50 years, it deteriorates. And after 100 years, it deteriorates even more. Similarly, when the body is young, people care for it, always lavishing affection upon it and kissing it. But when it grows old, no one cares for it. This is the nature of the material world. Even if a very good adjustment is made, it will, in course of time, be vanquished. Therefore, adjustments are periodically required, and from age to age, the Supreme Lord or his representative come to make adjustments in the direction of civilization. Thus, Sri Krishna descends many times to establish or regenerate many different religions.
This is done after. Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Although Krishna is neutral to all, for one who is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness, who is spreading the message of Bhagavad Gita, he gives special protection. That's what it is. Special protection. 9.31. What is saying? Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashati. My devotee never perishes. My devotee never perishes. Krishna is going to protect his devotees. Always. When we wanted to spread his knowledge, especially there are so many book distribution stories, devastating situations. Krishna personally came, in the town in terms of, different things, different situations, different personalities to help, like that. Krishna is going to send to save his devotee. Very, very important verse. Prabhupada frequently quotes this. Name bhakta, kaunteya pratijanahi, name bhakta pranashati. Name bhakta pranashati. Kaunteya pratijanahi, name bhakta pranashati. 9.31. Not only does Krishna come to protect and save his devotees, but also destroy the wicked. Vinashaya Chadushkritam. Krishna wanted to establish Arjuna and the 5 Pandavas over the most pious devotees. So that's where, Krishna always with Pandavas, even though Pandavas undergoing so many disturbances, but still they take it as, Krishna's blessings and, suffered and continued. And Krishna is always with them. It's my fate. So that's the thing. So now, now the world is so conceived that even if we make very good arrangement, it will gradually think about this one, the nature of the material world. Of course, use it for Krishna's service. That is very important. That is very important. What is that? Everything using for Krishna's service. Then only whatever we accumulated is going to be properly utilized. So the world is so conceived that even if we make a very good arrangement, it will gradually deteriorate. After World War I, an armistice was signed. What is that? Anyone know? Armistice. After World War I, an armistice. Let me see this meaning.
Kind of a peace treaty.
I'm just saying. An agreement made by opposing sides in a war to stop fight over. Nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, after World War I, an armistice was signed, and there was a short period of peace. But World War II soon came. See, that's a problem. Again, World War II, World War III is continuously one country to another country, fighting each other. The propensity is there, quarrel amongst. They won't want to live peacefully. Because of they wanted to, their country needs to be a topmost place in all respects. Defense, technology, different. America is the best example in America. Always, needs to be on top of these things. But we build up very nice house. After 50 years, it deteriorates. And after 100 years, it deteriorates. Even more. Similarly, when the body is young, people care for it. So this is very important. Let us see. Similarly, when the body is young, people care for it, always lavishing affection upon it, kissing it. But when it grows old, no one cares for it, right? That's a nature, stringent, Prabhupada writes, stringent laws of material nature forced us to take old age. You cannot stop, you cannot stop these things. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. How can we stop? Can we able to stop? No, we never. But that is a loss. That's where we have to escape from these laws. How can we escape? Bhakti yogena sevate. Sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. That's it. People care for when they are young. But when they are old, that's done. One story. This is the nature of the material world. Even if a very good adjustment is made, it will in course of time is be and patched. Therefore, adjustments are periodically required. From age to age, the Supreme Lord or his representative will come to make adjustment in direction of civilization. Thus, Sri Krishna descends many times to establish, rejuvenate many different religions. What is saying here? Very nice, right? This is the nature of the material world. Even if a very good adjustment is made, big bungalows, there, unless we use it for Krishna service, there is no value actually. No value. Yes, you have to have home, you have to have job, you have to everything, family, kids. Make them everything as Krishna consciousness. That's what it is. We are not away from Prabhupada rights. We are not away from money. Yes, we wanted to accumulate money, more money. Yes, to distribute knowledge, to spread the glories of the Krishna. That's the thing. So every time to reclaim fallen condition souls, Krishna sends his representative. Krishna comes personally as Yuga, every millennium. Every millennium. That's the thing. So thus Krishna descends many times to establish or rejuvenate many different religions. So there are, can anybody quickly say what are the 6 changes of this material body? Not only human body, all the bodies, all the material bodies, there are 6 changes. It's called Shadvikara. Shadvikara. Anybody know? Anybody knows? Before we start this chapter, chapter 7.
Birth, young body, staying there, reproducing, dwindling, and death.
Sorry, Prabhu. One. English, okay.
Yeah, what's showing something?
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Keman achen?
Hare Krishna,
Bhalo achi, bhalo. Khub bhalo. Your smile is khub bhalo. Hari bol. Hari bol. Dhanavad pranam. Okay, Hare Krishna. Sorry, Sunil Prabhu. One devotee. Where I am living in this course. Prabhuji suddenly came from work and taking Prashadam, maybe getting hungry. So now he's talking with his brother. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu. 6.
I was saying taking birth.
Okay. Number 1.
Growing young.
Very nice.
Then staying there.
Very nice.
For some time, reproducing, dwindling, and then death.
Vanishing. Very well. 6 changes. That is the truth. This body we are having, I am now 46-year-old. Where is my 16-year-old young body? In this house, there is a boy, their son, 16 years right now. Where is my body? Same similar kind of body. No, the laws, material laws working like that to force us to change these bodies. So that's why we have a seriousness. We have to take up this process so sincerely and seriously and apply all this knowledge in our life and get rid of this in the changing business, changing body business. It's okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. And let us read this one more chapter for some time. 15 minutes let us spend. Okay. Again. Samyukta Mataji, please start, Mataji.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Sapan Prabhu.
Chapter 7, Knowledge as Faith in Guru and Surrender to Krishna. In the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna concludes that of all sacrifices, the best is acquisition of knowledge. Shriyan Dravya Mayat Yagnaj Jnana Yagna Parantapa Sarvam Karmakhilam Partha Jnane Parisampyate. O chastiser of enemy, the sacrifice of knowledge is greater than sacrifice of material possession. O son of Pratha, After all, the sacrifice of work culminates in transcendental knowledge. Bhagavad Gita 4.33. Knowledge is the best sacrifice because this conditional life is due to ignorance. The purpose of sacrifice, penance, yoga, Pike scroll channel, Prabhuji, and philosophical discussion is to acquire knowledge. There are 3 stages of transcendental knowledge by which one realizes the impersonal aspect of God. Brahman realization, the localized aspect of God. The localized aspect of God within the heart and within every atom. Paramatma or super soul realization, and the realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagwan realization. But the very first step in acquiring knowledge is coming to understand that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. And aim of my life is to get out of this material entanglement. The point is that whatever sacrifice we make is intended to enable us to come to the point of real knowledge. The highest perfection of knowledge is given in Bhagavad Gita as surrender to Krishna. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Bhagavad Gita 7.19. The Jnanavan, not the fool, surrenders unto Krishna, and that is the highest stage of knowledge. Similarly, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna advises Arjuna, Sarvadharman parityagya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaisyami masucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. This is the most confidential part of knowledge. From all points of view, if we make an analytical study of Vedic literatures, we will find that the ultimate summit of knowledge is to surrender unto Krishna. And what type of surrender is recommended? Surrender in full knowledge. When one comes to the perfectional point, he must understand that Vasudeva, Krishna is everything. This is also confirmed in Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita 5.1. The words Sarvakarana indicate that Krishna is the cause of all causes. If we search to see who the father of our father is, who his father is, and so on back, if it were somehow possible to trace our ancestry back through time, we would arrive at the Supreme Father, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, everyone wants to see God immediately, but we can see God when we are qualified and in perfect knowledge. We can see God eye to eye, just as we are seeing one another. But qualification is required, and that qualification is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness begins with Shravanam, hearing about Krishna through Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures, and Kirtanam, repeating what we heard, and glorifying Krishna by chanting his names. By chanting and hearing of Krishna, we can actually associate with him, for he is absolute and non-different from his names, qualities, forms, and pastimes. As we associate with Krishna, he helps us to understand him and dispel the darkness of ignorance with the light of knowledge. Krishna is sitting within our hearts, acting as Guru. When we begin hearing topics about him, the dust which has accumulated on our minds due to so many years of material contamination becomes gradually cleaned. Krishna is a friend to everyone, but he is a special friend to his devotees. As soon as we become a little inclined towards him, he begins to give favorable instructions from within our hearts, so we can gradually make progress. Krishna is the first spiritual master, and when we become more interested in him, we have to go to a sadhu or a holy man who serves him as spiritual master from without. This is enjoined by Sri Krishna himself in the following verse. Tad vidhi pranipetana pariprasnena sevaya upadekshayanti te gnanam jnanis tattva darshina. Try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Bhagavad Gita 4.34. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Few things. So we have to understand what we are going to getting here in this chapter. Knowledge as faith in Guru and surrender to Krishna. So there are three pramanas: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So whatever we take up in Krishna consciousness, it has to be approved these three: Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. What Shastra is saying, what Guru is saying, what devotees are saying. So this is the fourth chapter, 33rd verse. Shreyan Dravya Mayad Yajnas Jnana Yajna Parantapa Sarvam Karma Akhilam Partha Jnane Parisamapyate. O Shastra of the enemy, the sacrifice of knowledge is greater than the sacrifice of material position. O son of Pruta, after all, the sacrifice of work culminates in transcendental knowledge. So we have to give up the work results. Work for Krishna, don't think about the results. Endeavor for Krishna, not looking for any results. Results anyway comes. Likewise, work for Krishna. Krishna is going to take us. Knowledge is the best sacrifice because this conditional life is due to ignorance. So how can we get rid of this conditional life? Through the knowledge. Through the knowledge only. That is the best sacrifice, Krishna says. Through the knowledge and detachment. The purpose of sacrifice, penance, yoga, philosophical discussion is to acquire knowledge. There are three stages of transcendental knowledge: Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, Bhagavan realization. So, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti shabde. Different understandings. We many times discussed sunshine, sun glow, and sun god. Sun god is Bhagavan realization. Sun glow, Paramatma realization. Sunshine, impersonal liberation, Brahma Jyoti platform. So every step in acquiring knowledge is coming to understand I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Aham Brahmasmi. I am not this body, I am spirit soul. And my aim of life is to get out of this material entanglement. Super statement. This is the Vedanta Sutras talks about Aham Brahmasmi. I am not this body, I am spirit soul. And my aim is to get out of this material entanglement. Material entanglement means this one only, na? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, and three miseries, Trishula. Tapatrayam, we say Tapatrayam. Three tapas. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika, like that. Okay. When we surrender to Krishna, Krishna is going to take care of everything. Abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from what? Sarva papebhyo, all sinful reactions. Do not fear. That's where I many times, so many times Prabhupada writes in purpose: surrender to Krishna, surrender to Guru, learn from him, and elevate ourselves and going back to God. This is the most confidential part of knowledge. From all points of view. 1 second. Yes. Yeah, this is what it is. With the knowledge only, we get to understand what is what. With surrender only, that helps the knowledge. Okay. Unless that's where Prabhupada writes in his below, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaye upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina sapta. Tadarshini means nothing but pure devotees. They have seen the truth. They understood the seriousness of life. They are practicing from their own example in their devotional life. They become Guru. How they become Guru? Because they are also once upon a time disciple of his Guru. So Guru Parampara system. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina stappadarshina. That's the thing. So Sarva Dharman Parityaja, that we have discussed in the this is the position. This is the most confidential part of knowledge. What is that confidential part of knowledge? From all points of view, if we make an analytical study of the Vedic literature, we will find that the ultimate summit of knowledge is to surrender unto Krishna. And what type of surrender is recommended? Surrender in full knowledge. What is that full knowledge? when one comes to a perfectional point, that he must understand that Vasudeva, Krishna is everything. This is also confirmed in Brahma Samhita. Our Sapan Prabhu so nicely recited. We are learning in our morning calls, sloka recitation, so nicely. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Is the cause of everything. Is the prime cause of all causes. Is the origin of all. He has no other origin. And he has eternal, blissful, spiritual world. Satchidananda Vigraha. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Krishna is known as Govinda. He is the supreme God. Ishvara means supreme God. Very good. So that's what it is. So we got the point, like whom to worship. Then we have to learn how to worship, how to please him through hearing, reading, chanting. That's the thing. Let us continue some more. I think quickly one paragraph for each one, each Prabhu and Mata. So now Sapan Prabhu done. Again, I'm asking Sunil Prabhu, can you please read one paragraph till this point? And I request all of your devotees one paragraph. Then we can wrap up. Another 5 minutes, not more than that. Okay. Yeah. Read Prabhu, Sunil Prabhu. Sunil Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, you are able to read?
Not Prabhu. Yes. No
problem. No problem. Radhika Mataji, can you read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes. Read. This highlighted paragraph, read.
It is one second. It is necessary to select a person to whom we can surrender ourselves. Of course, no one likes to surrender to anyone. We are puffed up with whatever knowledge we have, and our attitude is, oh, who can give me knowledge? Some people say that for spiritual realization, there is no need for a spiritual master. But so far as Vedic literature is concerned, and as far as Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Upanishads are concerned, there is need of a spiritual master. Even in the material world, if one wants to learn to be a musician, he has to search out a musician to teach him. Or if one wants to be an engineer, he has to go to a technological college and learn from those who know the technology. Nor can anyone become a doctor by simply purchasing a book from the market and reading it at home. One has to be admitted to a medical college and undergo training under licensed doctors. It is not possible to learn any major subject simply by purchasing books and reading them at home. Someone is needed to show us how to apply that knowledge which is found in the books. As far as the science of God is concerned, Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, himself advises us to go to a person to whom we can surrender. This means that we have to check to see if a person is capable of giving instructions in Bhagavad Gita and it is not that we are to search out a spiritual master whimsically. We should be very serious to find a person who is actually in knowledge of the subject.
Very good. Thank you, Mataji. So there is a concept called, people they won't need any guru, for the spiritual life. They wanted to their own understanding, their own way. See, think about this, a person wanted to do a job, for example, a software engineer, take an example, or a doctor, at least, or an engineer, or any civil engineer, whatever job, profession, he has to undergo 20 to 23, 24 years of education. From after 5, right? 20 years of education. If we understand, like if we go to school from the childhood at the age of 5-year-old, the 20 years of education. 20 years of education needed in order to get a material job. Think about spiritual life. We definitely need a guru. So we definitely have to be situated in the proper guru disciplic succession. Otherwise, there is no value in our life actually. That's why it's called second birth. When we surrender to a guru, we get the second birth. First birth we got it from our mother. Second birth, it's Dvija. It's called Dvija. Dvija Bandhu. Dvija. That means second birth from the spiritual master. Spiritual master is initiates in the process of devotional life in the Guru disciplic succession. We are part of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Because we need, and in order to understand, we have to have a proper Guru, and from him we have to learn. Right? That's the thing. Now, Swapna Mataji, can you please read these two paragraphs? Then Samyukta Mataji, then we can wrap up. Yeah, these two paragraphs, can you please read? Swapna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Ask to unmute. Okay. Then Swapna Mataji, Hare Krishna. Okay. Samyukta Mataji, మీరు చదవండి. Please read that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'll read, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. From here.
In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was talking to Krishna just like a friend. And Krishna was questioning how he, as a military man, could give up fighting. But when Arjuna saw that friendly talks would not make a solution to his problem, he surrendered unto Krishna, saying, Sishyateham sadimam tvam prapanna. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. This is the process. It is not that we should blindly surrender, but we should be able to inquire with intelligence. Without inquiry, we cannot make advancement. In school, a student who makes inquiries from the teacher is usually an intelligent student. It is generally a sign of intelligence when a small child inquires from his father, Oh, what is this? What is that? We may have a very good spiritual master, but if we have no power to inquire, we cannot make progress. Nor should the inquiry be of the nature of a challenge. One should not think, now I will see what kind of a spiritual master he is. I will challenge him. Our inquiries, pariprashnena, should be on the subject of service, sevaya. Without service, our inquiries will be futile. But even before making inquiries, we should have some qualification. If we go to a store to purchase some gold or jewelry and we know nothing about jewels or gold, we are likely to be cheated. If we go to a jeweler and say, can you give me a diamond? He will understand that this is a fool. He could charge us any price for anything. That kind of searching will not do at all. We first have to become a little intelligent, for it is not possible to make spiritual progress otherwise. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji. So this one, yes, yeah, we surrender to a Guru. What happens? We have, Krishna himself says, no, what we need to do? Try to learn the truth by approaching spiritual master. Inquire from him, ask questions, get clarifications. What is best for me? How can I practice? How can I advance? With submissive mode, inquire from him with submissive mode and render service unto him. Service means instructions, following instructions, seva. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Submissiveness, inquiry, submissiveness, and surrender. That's it. Then we will get the proper knowledge. He is going to impart us. That is no difference actually. Only Krishna and spiritual master different is Krishna's representative is a spiritual master, and his mood always servant mood only. Servant. Oh, I become guru, so I got the position. No, not there, not always. He's a servant of Krishna. Is a very acha devotee, pure devotee of Sri Krishna. Then we get the proper bhakti. Bhakti lata bija. Guru, with the Guru Padashraya, when we surrender to a Guru Padashraya, we get Bhakti Lata Bija. Is seed giving of Bhakti. Bhakti starts from him by knowledge imparting like that. Okay, now Swapna Mata is Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay. Radhika Mataji, inko sar chauthara. Sapan Prabhu. Sapan Prabhu, inko Children, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. The beginning injunction of the Veda Sutra is Ahato Brahma Jignasa. Now is the time to inquire about Brahman. The word Atha means that the word Atha means that one who is intelligent, who has come to the point of realizing the basic frustrations of material life, is capable of making inquiry. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that one should inquire from a spiritual master about subjects that are beyond this darkness. This material world is by nature dark, and it is artificially lighted by fire. Our inquiry should be about the transcendental worlds which lie beyond this universe. If one is desirous to find out about these spiritual worlds, he should seek out a spiritual master. Otherwise, there is no point in searching. If I want to study Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta Sutra in order to make material improvement, it is not necessary to find a spiritual master. One should first want to inquire about Brahman and then search out a master who has perfect vision of the absolute truth. Jnaninas Tattva Darshina. Krishna is the supreme Tattva, absolute truth. In the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna states, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattva. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows the truth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaya. Krishna himself saying, to understand me is very rare. The great soul, very rare to understand me. And out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Hardly one knows me in truth. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan nam prapadyate. There is one more verse. Vasudevan sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. Very rare. Out of bahunam janmanam ante. Here also, out of many thousands, achieve for some perfection. Perfection means this again. We can understand that Ashtasiddhis, Ashtanga Yoga, some knowledge, Bhakti Yoga, but not exactly completely pure devotees. But hardly one knows me in truth. Only devotees can know Krishna. Not Ashtanga Yoga, yogis, Karma yogis, Jnana yogis, Dhyana yogis, or Ashtanga yogis, they never understand. There's some material inclination there. Only pure devotees without any material inclination, without any material motivation. They serve Krishna uninterrupted, unmotivated service. So that's where they become pure devotees. That's where Bahunam Janman, Jnanavan Mahati, Vasudeva Mahatma Sudurlabha. Very rare. Right. So let us conclude with this last sloka from this book. Of course, from Bhagavad Gita only, but Prabhupada. This Mataji, Radhika Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji got a call.
Acha,
Sorry,
Swapna Mataji. Then మిమ్మల్ని multiple times అడిగాను. So మీరు చదవండి ఇది. Please do it.
అదే ప్రభుజీ కాల్ వచ్చింది, డిక్లైన్ చేస్తాను, ఇంకా అటెండ్ చేయాల్సి వచ్చిందని I couldn't reply.
Yes, no problem, Mataji, no problem. Please read the highlighted section.
Okay. Thus, out of many perfected spiritualists, one man may know what Krishna actually is. As this verse indicates, the subject matter of Krishna is not so easy, but is very difficult. Yet Bhagavad Gita also indicates that it is easy.
Bhaktya mam abhijanati.
Bhaktya mam abhijanati
యావన్ యశాస్మి తత్వతః.
యావన్ యాస్మి
మీరు ఒకసారి నేనంట మొత్తం చేస్తాం.
అతో మాం తత్వతో జ్ఞానత్వం. ఓకే
భక్త్యా మాం అభిజానాతి యావన్ యశ్చాస్మి తత్వతః తతో మాం తత్వతో జ్ఞాత్వా విశతే తదనంతరం.
Bhaktya mam abhijananti yavan yaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnana visate tattva anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality as He is the only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter in the kingdom of God. If we accept the process of devotional service, we can understand Krishna very easily. So, through it, we can understand the signs of Krishna perfectly and become eligible for entering into the spiritual kingdom. If, as Bhagavad Gita says, after birth we have to eventually surrender. Why not surrender to Him immediately? Why wait for many births? If surrender is the end of the perfection, why not accept perfection immediately? Krishna consciousness can be attained in 1 second, or it can be 1 second.
It cannot be had even after 1,000
It
births.
can it cannot be had even after 1,000 births and deaths. If we choose, we can immediately become great souls by surrendering to Krishna. But because we have doubts whether or not Krishna is actually the supreme, we have to take time to dissipate these doubts through study of scriptures. By studying Bhagavad Gita,
Sorry, by studying Bhagavad Gita under the guidance of
yes. By studying Bhagavad Gita under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, we can remove these doubts and make definite progress.
Mata, thank you. The 3 verses Malli Manamu, we will continue on Monday. Monday we will continue from this. I will keep a clear note. This is what it is. So now with the knowledge, see Prabhupada, that's the beauty of Srila Prabhupada, And when he immediately quote from, directly from Bhagavad Gita 7.3, what he's saying, Krishna says, out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Bhagavad Gita 7.3. This is the beauty of Srila Prabhupada. Next verse, see what Krishna says in another place, that is 18th chapter. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yashasu tattva tato man tattva jnatva vishate tadanantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality of as is only by devotional service. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. If you wanted to understand me, only through bhakti. And one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. That's the thing. If we accept the process of devotion service, we can understand Krishna very easily. And science of Bhagavad Gita, science of Krishna perfectly, knows Krishna. We can understand the science of Krishna perfectly. Sorry. Become eligible for entering into the spiritual kingdom. And after many births, we have to eventually surrender to Krishna. Why not surrender to him immediately? Why wait for many births? Prabhupada asking questions to us. If surrender is the end of the perfection, why not accept perfection immediately? Is a good proposition, right? He's asking for us to surrender immediately. Of course, the answer is that people are generally doubtful. Krishna is going to help me, or Krishna is Krishna only Supreme Personality of Godhead, not Shiva, not Brahma, not any other demigod. So it can doubts and then these are the doubts will be there. Krishna consciousness can be attained in 1 second, or it can be had even after 1,000 births and deaths. If we choose, we can immediately become great souls by surrendering to Krishna. But because we have doubts whether or not Krishna is actually the Supreme, we have to take time to dissipate these doubts through study of the scriptures. By studying Bhagavad Gita under the guidance of Bonava Spiritual Master, we can remove these doubts and make definite progress. So we have to, through the torchlight of knowledge, right? What is the torchlight of knowledge? Over 2 minutes, not I won't take much time. Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshoranmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guru. We repeatedly, before beginning any class, we take blessings from a Guru. Guru is going to give the knowledge. That knowledge is just like torchlight that we can save us from any dangers actually. Unless we get to know how can we practice and how can we elevate ourselves. Correct? So that's the thing. Light, one prayer, and I wanted to show you sunlight in America. You can see, and we can wrap up. In India, night, right? So there is a beautiful prayer from Chaitanya Charitamrita. One second, we'll do it and I will wrap up for the end of the week. You are all Friday nights. Thank you so much for joining and associating with Srila Prabhupada. Very beautiful prayer. Let me share. Let us repeat. And I will show you sunlight. That's where we are able to see, no? That's good. Yes. Radhika Mataji, Hare Krishna. Can you try to do this now at that meter? Mataji? Yeah.
I should.
You can try. It's okay. Otherwise, I will try once. You can try.
Okay. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakara Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikara.
Very nice, Mataji. Let me do one more time. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakara Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikara. Read this translation.
Translation: Krishna is compared to sunshine and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is sunshine, there cannot be darkness. As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion, the influence of the external energy will immediately vanish.
That's it. So Krishna conscious, Krishna, wherever Krishna, that is just like sunlight. That's where that we see. Right? So let me share in my window in this point. You are able to see sunlight, at least from the blades to the windows. Yeah. Suddenly I got to remember this prayer. Wherever Krishna, there is Krishna, there is no darkness. Light, everything, knowledge illuminating. Knowledge illuminating. So we always have to be in Krishna's service by associating with devotees like this, reading like this, sharing like this in the calls. So that we always be 24 hours we can be engaged. We always be in the Krishna's thoughts, our mind, our thinking, our feeling, our willing in Krishna's service. Okay. And thank you so much. This is Friday night and Saturday, Sunday, weekend. More do nice Krishna conscious activities, Kirtan, learning Kirtan, Mridangam, singing, cooking, nice dishes for Krishna. Think creatively. Everything we can do so nicely in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so let us connect on Monday. Samyukta Mataji, Sapan Prabhu, Radhika Mataji, Swapna Mataji, Sunil Prabhu. Thank you so much for joining today also. The evening, Fridays, most of the people Fridays, what they do? OTTs, serials, movies, and outside parties. Friday means pubs, bars, materialists, pubs, bars, clubs, discotheques, dances. We as devotees, how are we using? Differentiating, a materialistic way of life and a spiritual way of life. Which is best? This is best. That is worst. Worst only. Worst. The bad word in English. Worst. We are the best people. Prabhupada writes, whoever takes this Krishna consciousness path, intelligent persons. Period. So we become intelligent by Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy, by regularly associating with Srila Prabhupada books. Srila Prabhupada books nothing but Krishna's books only. It's not. There is no difference actually. No, same knowledge presenting. So I really thank you so much. I'm grateful all of you for your giving association for my benefit. Actually, I'm getting so much benefit by associating within these Zoom calls, reading Srila Prabhupada books morning and evening, and every alternate Srila Prabhupada small books. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Dandavat pranams. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada transcendental reading ki jai. Hitai Gaur Hari Premanande. Hari
Hari Hari
Hari.
Bol.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Weekend lo manche Krishna consciousness. Always be in Krishna consciousness. Sorry, Radhika Mataji, sometimes I am speaking in Telugu. Please bear with me. But I will speak going forward. I will speak in English. Okay. Thank you so much again. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Have a happy Krishna conscious weekend. More association. Whoever in Hyderabad, please go to Abid's temple. There is a beautiful program. Awards ceremony of book distribution. If I am there in India, I would supposed to go there. But my family is planning to go. Let us see. So please attend. Associate with devotees. Take up some services. Whatever. No, using our senses for Krishna. That's what it is. Okay. Thank you so much.